Hi, welcome back to That's Entertainment, weekly entertainment show where we look at all the interesting news from last week, this week. This week, we're taking a look at the success of one particular movie and using it to try and show just what being a blockbuster looks like in today's post-pandemic world. It's great to see that the Denis Villeneuve's Dune is now officially a hit for producers, Legendary Pictures, and distributors Warner Brothers. The film has so far taken over $300 million worldwide, with $75 million coming from the US box office alone, but it is also available to watch at home to subscribers of the Warner Brothers HBO Max streaming platform. The film's hit status was certified days after its US opening, when plans for Dune Part 2 were officially announced, with the sequel currently scheduled to open in little under 2 years on October 20th, 2023. Tellingly, the director also had gone on the record as stating that the sequel will be given an exclusive cinematic release in the US, with a guaranteed 45-day theatrical window. For me, it was a non-negotiable condition, the filmmaker told The Hollywood Reporter in a recent interview. But he also noted that delivering the finished film in less than 2 years will be a challenge, and that the earliest he could begin shooting would be in the autumn of 2022. But what actually defines a hit movie today? It's certainly true that Dune has proved to be the biggest film of the director's career so far. His last film, Blade Runner 2049, opened to just $31.5 million in the US box office, significantly less than Dune's $41 million. And while a $41 million opening would have been regarded as a failure pre-COVID, it is very much seen as a success in 2021. The film's opening weekend also highlighted yet again another contemporary theatrical trend, the importance of the premium cinematic experience. Variety picked up on the truly astonishing statistic that in its first week of release, half of the domestic box office revenues for the Warner Brothers film came from IMAX, Dolby, and other high-end screens known as premium large formats. 50% is a ridiculous number, Jeff Bock, a box office analyst with Exhibitor Relations. IMAX was a huge selling point for Dune. You had to see it on the big screen for the spectacle. Well, I would agree with that. Having seen the movie, it was unbelievably good from a visual perspective, and the storytelling was very true to the book as well, in almost minute detail. So I'd imagine seeing it on a huge IMAX screen would be totally immersive, to be honest. According to Richard L. Gelfond, CEO of the IMAX Experience, people have spent so much time during the pandemic on the couch streaming TV shows, and when they go out, they want something special. However, it appears the film was also a great success for HBO Max at the same time in terms of home viewers. Media Player News reported that Dune was the top streaming movie amongst the US consumers for the weekend ending October 24th, according to the TV Time viewership tracking app. Figures from RealGood.com went even further, according to a report from NextTV.com. Dune had the biggest home streaming opening weekend of any day-and-date theatrical title this year. It performed significantly better than previous best day-and-date opening HBO Max premiere of The Suicide Squad back in early August. While producers Legendary made no secret of their anger over Warner Brothers' initial decision to release the film day and date, it seems that they have been appeased by the studio's subsequent financial compensation for the presumed loss of theatrical revenue that the simultaneous HBO Max release will have caused. Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar revealed at September's CodeCon in LA that when the studio realized they would have to offer such compensation, they decided, we're going to be fair and generous, we're going to do the right thing. And the good news is we did, and we worked our tails off to do that, and we're now in a very good situation. But it can't be denied that the film's availability to stream will have had an impact on the cinematic success, and it was undoubtedly a fact in the film's disappointing second week at the US box office, as IndieWire reported. Dune had a weaker than anticipated second week, with a 62% drop, grossing $15.5 million. Halloween was expected to hurt, but Denis Villeneuve's film lacked the competition of a major opening. There was also another huge factor that the film's digital streaming release is responsible for subsequently global availability of a perfect digital pirate copy. And according to Torrent Freak's website, Dune was the most torrented pirate movie for 2 weeks after its US theatrical opening. Tellingly, that interest in pirated copies predated the film's availability on HBO Max. The Torrent Freak team are in no doubt that the film's legitimate digital debut and high-profile marketing campaign had a huge impact on its pirating appeal. Last week, leaked copies of Dune appeared on pirate sites before the US theatrical and HBO premieres, and this is typically a recipe for a piracy surge. While there was indeed plenty of interest in pirated Dune copies, the biggest spike came after HBO leaks appeared days later. The unusual second wave was likely triggered by quality, PR, or perhaps a bit of both. So basically that means that even though the film was available subsequent to the release in the US, the pirateers or the would-be pirateers were not really looking forward to watching it. And it goes back to that point that films are suffering a low level of awareness right now as we're coming back out of the pandemic. The idea of watching trailers is confined largely to online, and the usual source of trailer information from cinemas is probably something to do with that lack of awareness that we've been discussing in previous shows. What is more worrying than the film's availability on torrenting sites around the world is its simultaneous presence on numerous illegal streaming sites. Industry piracy analyst Muso have confirmed that the number of viewers watching illegal movie streams now has far outnumbered those downloading illegal torrents. So streaming is winning in the piracy area as well as in the streaming wars. Muso's stats for August reveal just how big a problem this is today, and in particular for those studio titles that are given a day-and-date release, such as HBO Max's previous most popular opening of 2021's DC's The Suicide Squad. The top 100 films in Muso's August piracy data accounted for 267.5 million unlicensed streams and torrent downloads globally, with The Suicide Squad being the most popular title. The James Gunn-directed movie featuring Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn accounted for 25.9% of piracy amongst the top 10 titles in that month, and over 75% of unlicensed consumption for this title happened within 14 days of its August 5th VOD release, with 72% of all piracy taking place on unlicensed streaming websites. The threat these illegal streaming sites represented was highlighted again recently. At a time when Dune is the lead title on many such sites, Torrent Freak reported that in the UK, the High Court reported that Columbia Pictures, Disney Enterprises, Netflix Studios, Paramount Pictures, Universal City Studios, and Warner Brothers Entertainment made submissions in a new application earlier last month, requesting an order for ISPs to block 5 pirate streaming portals in the UK. And according to Torrent Freak, those 5 illegal streaming sites named in the court action attract more than 32 million visits globally per month. With the rise of high-value or high-quality content being released day and date, piracy inevitably will become an issue as would-be torrenters are out there looking for these for this content, and everything is only a Google search away. We're working with White Rabbit, which is a solution or a technology solution in this field that I think is well worth checking out. It's a plugin that works within the Chrome browser when you're searching torrent sites and begin to try and download something. You're flashed a message to pay for the content, and the content payment goes directly to the rights holder. So although you might be viewing it on an illegal service, you have the opportunity to pay for it. The launch for this will be coming up soon, and we're very excited to be part of that launch too. So, delving back in, what are your thoughts on the levels of piracy that we're going to be experiencing? Are there any ideas that we as a community can start to discuss around what we should be doing about piracy? My feeling is piracy is inevitable, and it's really about working with that viewing behavior rather than trying to stop it, because, again, the internet is open. Are those levels of piracy the inevitable price to pay for the legitimate theatrical and streaming success of a film in today's digital world? Let us know. That's all for this week. Remember, we publish this show both to LinkedIn and to YouTube. Do feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. And until next week, goodbye.